Hey everybody, it's Penny. I'm sorry for the ramshackle nature of this video, but I recently heard about this story late at night, and I figured, you know what, this is something I need to talk about. I know my audience and my reach isn't going to be particularly big. I'm going to be like a small drop in a big pond, but I figured this is something I need to do, so I'm just going to go straight into it. Myrient was a website, for those who don't know, that was essentially acted as a mass archive for video games and gaming media as a whole. It wasn't just ROMs that were on that website. It was all sorts of things, whether it be unreleased prototypes, levels for Little Big Planet, or just issues of Nintendo Power. It was a massive archive of gaming and gaming history. And it was a website I went to very often whenever I needed to pick up ROMs for my 360 because it was a lot easier for me to just preserve games that way. For some of the games I picked up on there are triple digit games like Deadpool for the PS3 that costs like $70 to $100. Most Wanted for the 360 costs around $100. Need for Speed Carbon costs like $60 on eBay. It's really fucking expensive. And for someone like me who couldn't really get into retro game collecting, it was a godsend that allowed me to replay some older games that I grew up with and discover a bunch of new games that nobody really cared about. But it is with heavy heart that I say that Myrient is now going to be shut down. As of March 31st, the website will no longer be active, and all the content on the website will be vanished. All 370 terabytes of information will be wiped away. The reason why? Artificial intelligence. The reason why this website is forced to close its doors is because rising server costs, rising AI costs, like stuff like RAM, server costs, solid state drives, you name it, everything pertaining to AI has forced the website owner to essentially shut down the website because he simply cannot afford to keep it open. And if you had no reason to hate I feel like this is a massive fucking reason. I've always said this, but AI has always existed to be used by corporate interests to force creative people to be more susceptible to their manipulation. Because corporate interests, they don't care about creativity. They don't care about the media we consume. They only care about the bottom line. And if the rising cost of AI means that the only way we can engage with creative output would be through AI, this is very much an intended consequence. But this is not the subject of this video. I might make a bigger video on this if you have any interest in that. But what the actual topic of this video is, despite everything I've been saying, there is something we can do to preserve Myrient. There is a current project going on right now as we are speaking. It is called Minerva. It is currently being used to archive everything that is on Myrient's website as we speak. Catch is, though, they can't do it alone. So, if you want to help preserve a massive piece of gaming history, a massive piece of pretty much everything that gaming has led up to, I would recommend that you go to the link in the description, go to Myrient and go to Minerva, and help with the archival process. I know I will definitely be doing it in my spare time, and Myrient meant a lot to a lot of people. It meant a lot to me, because it essentially reignited my interest in retro gaming as a whole. If it weren't for Myrient, I would have never gotten back into retro gaming. I would have just stayed in the current rut that is current modern gaming, and I wouldn't have never, and I probably would have lost interest in the hobby. But Myrient single-handedly saved my interest in gaming. And while it can't be around anymore, the least we can do is preserve its legacy. So, like I said, if you want to help the project, go to the 2 links in the description and get to archiving. If you want a good place to start, I'd suggest the Xbox 360 games. They are by far the biggest downloads on the website, and not really the biggest. There probably is more, but they are very sizable downloads, and they are the ones that are very hard to replicate if you were to lose it. So, please, I would recommend start there. Thanks so much for watching.